I'm also really happy that an awful lot of the things that are just not available in London anymore are here. So I'm surprised that the rails haven't been mocked. Maybe they will be after this. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to do it, the timing is very particular. We're settling into the autumn season. The clothes and the trends that we looked at on the runways in February that have been delivered in the last couple of months, they're really bedding in now. And I think we kind of know of all the things that we thought were going to be great and perhaps didn't quite make the grade. We know what they are and we know what the real winners are. And so we have identified for you this afternoon the winners of the season, so I hope you agree. And the first off, we're just going to do a really chunky winter knit story. But this was such a great made such huge visual impact on the D&G catwalk, and everybody was crazy for this. We had it all over Grazia. They took what's a very basic, classic part of our winter wardrobe vocabulary, the fairisle and the snowflake and the ski sweater. Not the most glamorous of things, and they actually managed to glam it up quite considerably. I mean, I do remember as students we all had one of these Icelandic sweaters, but it was a really scratchy proposition, couldn't stand it. But this one, they've actually made a really beautiful wool in a big shape, but then they styled it over a fairisle snowflake chiffon printed blouse, which, to me, you know, if one of them had said to me, Paula, what do you think of that idea? I think on paper I would have thought, but it really works. Another angle on this whole kind of knitwear thing, and one that we're really bigging up at Grazia, is the concept of the coatigan. A coat that is a cardigan thinks it's a coat that thinks it's a cardigan. And it is kind of brilliant because it's styled big so that you can layer things underneath it, or you can just wear it in a really roomy way over something really light like that chiffon shirt. The only thing I would say to you ladies is make sure that you wear a really skinny pant underneath or something that brings the bulk back in under control, because I think if you went for a big bulky skirt under that big sweater, you might start to look like you've been rolled around in a lot of sheep's wool. But no, it looks really good if you can balance it with a skinny silhouette underneath. Or another thing that Dolce & Gabbana did was a long chiffon skirt so it really moved over high shoes. That worked really well. Thank you. Now, talking about glamming up knitwear, just in case you don't believe me, we have this fantastic look from Givenchy, and again, they started with the Icelandic knit. Really not a glamorous place to start, but they did it in these beautiful little bodies that are almost cut, maybe you can do it, cut almost like fencing tops, so really close to the body, beautiful colours and really nice textures. And then they layered them underneath this really sharp tailored coating. Now, one of the things that Riccardo Tisci, who is the designer of Givenchy, is famous for is this razor sharp tailoring. He tends to start from a man's perspective and kind of mannish tailoring perspective. So if you just turn around and have a look at the way that coat's cut, is so exquisite, kind of borrowed from hunting pink and, again, fencing and the man's basic Chesterfield jacket. But then he has really feminized it with that beautiful crepe wool fabric and styled it again over something really sporty, which just kind of gives something very unpromising, a very glamorous edge. I have to say, there is a girlfriend of mine in New York who is a very curvy, pear-shaped figure, and she also happens to be one of the best dressed women that I know, fashion editor of New York magazine called Harriet Mays. And she said her secret to dressing is CBS, coat, bag and shoes. And that's what she invests in every season. This is actually a Balmain look, but Emmanuelle Alt is the power behind Balmain. She is the stylist and the inspiration of the look, and she's a great kind of spaghetti thin French woman who is about 6 foot tall with long dark hair, quite kind of gothic rock chick. And we have a joke about Emmanuelle that when she passes you, a shadow passes over the sun. Oh, it's a bit kind of scary. But she does have a fabulous look, and this is very distinctively her. And her whole thing is about a really glamorous jacket. So this is almost like a Michael Jackson performance piece. French ladies who really is capturing the imagination. It's about styling this. I mean, for me, Isabelle Marmont is not really a designer the way that Nicolas Ghesquière for Balenciaga or Riccardo Tisci for Givenchy is. She's not exactly reinventing the wheel, but she is a fabulous stylist. And this look is such an iconic piece of her work. So we've got the kind of biker jacket, the utility trousers, and again that little t-shirt underneath. It's so much what the French girls are wearing. These trousers are not Isabel Marant. These are the Brand Houlihans, which you may have read about. I think there is not a single girl in the Grazia office who doesn't own a pair. And I did speak to a jeans specialist in London not that long ago when these came in store. They barely ever stay in store in England, they're flying off. And I said to her, the Houlihans, I'm told, suit every single figure, but I just can't believe that that's true. And she said, well, maybe 100% is an exaggeration, but she said, I would say we have an 80% hit rate on figures that those trousers suit. So, try them. But they are fantastically comfortable, there's really good stretch in them, but more than anything else, we're not talking about comfort here, we're talking about fashion. And I think this is a super cool look with that biker jacket and those trousers. And the Isabel Marant shoes have sold out of Brand Houlihan, but we find a pair that look just as fantastic with a pointy toe and stiletto heel. And I think that's part of the look too, because one thing that she does, which is great, is just throw back a little bit of femininity that just takes that away from being too butch. Thank you. Was an absolute star on the autumn-winter catwalks, not least on the entire finale, I think, of Dolce & Gabbana was just a big lace fest. And we all had a bit of a moment while we were watching it. This is a Chloe lace, so again, Hannah McGibbon, another fabulous woman, designing very much with a woman in mind. And so this dress, again, very, very simple, but super feminine, drop waist, that whole 20s vibe, which is another thing that is huge for the summer. It really gathers momentum for the summer. And this is a cotton lace, so really easy. It feels as appropriate in the day as it does for the evening. And that flesh-coloured lining, which just gives it a little kind of seductive edge. And just so that we can kind of make it look a bit more modern, we added some flat boots, those beautiful boots that have kind of got that lacy trim on them as well. And I think we're all very good at being sensible, and probably our party wardrobe is a black dress which we put some sparkly jewellery on with. But I think every woman owes it to herself at some stage in her life to have a completely bonkers dress. And when I saw this one, I thought, that's the bonkers dress. So again, it's D&G, who are two boys who really do know how to party. And it's a fuchsia pink, metallic, sequined shift, so quite a simple shape. All the detail is in that embroidered sequins, with that lovely little grosgrain trim, and with those ridiculously fabulous Gucci shoes. So I think, come Christmas, please try to get some feathers, sequins, or diamante in your wardrobe, because I think you deserve it. After 2 years in this economy, I think we all deserve it. Thank you. But the next dress is slightly more understated. It is what is basically a simple little shift, but with that lovely diamante trim. And just in case it's not making enough of a statement for you, we added some of those insanely gorgeous Nicholas Kirkwood shoes, which have got like a pearl-trimmed platform and then a lace upper, really pretty. This, again, that whole kind of 60s simplicity, kind of coming through the minimal tailoring, coming through a Mad Men. And with that little new bag with the handle that thinks it's a piece of jewellery. And there's, again, those insane Gucci shoes, which actually you've worn so many times now, I think they're almost yours.